in bed I hear the clock tick and think of you, turning in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback to one night.
The seniors are gone. It's our turn to shine. Good morning, Staples.
Woke up cold one Tuesday. I'm looking tired and feeling quite sick. I felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that seemed clean, topped it off with a pair of old shoes that were ripped around the seams.
Good morning, Staples. It's Wednesday, May 18th, and I'm Jacob Bond. Counting today, there are 16 more school days left until final exams. And counting today, we'll have 8 more morning shows to bring you. We'll get to today's right after the pledge. Would you all please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was Mr. Dave Bennett doing the pledge today. He was better known throughout the Staples community as Robo, as in RoboCop. Him doing the pledge was a bit of a hint on what's to come in future morning shows. On one, Zito and Honeycutt will be looking back at the history of the morning show, and you can be sure that you'll see Robo again. But that's in a couple weeks. We'll start today's with one of the many opportunities Staples students have to prepare them for future endeavors.
We met with Greg Preiser, president of the ABC Stock Club, to discuss what he does in the club.
Throughout the year, we participate in a virtual trading game where people get $100,000 of virtual money and you can trade whatever stocks you want. And we also have guest speakers come in and explain some of the concepts that you can apply to your own trading.
Do you trade the real stock market?
All the stocks are up to date and they get updated every single minute.
What are the goals of the club?
We have them sponsor us, and so for every $1,000 of virtual money we make, they donate $2 of real money, and we cap it off at $100. And then at the end of the year, we pull all the money together, and we then have an anonymous donor who will double every single donation.
What was last year's goal for raising money, and what's this year's goal?
Well, we didn't really have a goal last year. It was more startup year, figuring out how much we can raise. We actually raised $1,600, and then we came into this year with the goal of doubling it. And I can happily say that we are on track to not only double it, but to get close to tripling.
When does the club meet, and do you have any other information people need to know who want to join?
Well, our club meets about once a month, usually on Thursdays, and you should come join. I mean, we get pizza for every meeting, we hang out, we get to talk about your stocks and stuff like that, and it's just overall really fun. And also there's a prize for whoever makes the most money in the virtual game throughout the year, so you should come join.
If someone wants to join, how can they contact you?
You can message me on Facebook, somehow get my phone number, email me on school account. I can be reached in lots of different ways, and I can fill you in on club information, meeting times, and yeah.
Thanks, Greg. Now back to the host. Bam!
In our ongoing and failing effort to mention not to eat here and not to eat there, we mentioned yet another place that they don't appreciate you bringing food into.
The librarians have noticed there's been a lot of food in the library. They told us to let you know that shouldn't be happening.
Believe me that there shouldn't be food in the library. Maybe you want to talk to the mouse that we just saw.
So we were sitting here at the library like we do like every morning, and we just see like a little mouse run by, and everyone's kind of like hectic, like trying to find him. Yeah, so don't bring food to the library.
Oh my gosh, this is like a scary experience. A mouse just ran into my foot because of the food in the library. This needs to be stopped. Now.
If you don't want a rat on your foot, don't bring food into the library. Let's send it back to the host.
So you shouldn't eat in the hallways, you shouldn't eat in the library, and you shouldn't eat outside the auditorium. But not only are you encouraged to eat in the cafeteria, but the food there is pretty good. Much better than in many other high schools. We set out to find out what some of your favorites are.
We wanted to know what your favorite cafeteria item was, Staples, so I'm gonna go check it out, and I'm gonna see what you guys think.
Well, it was the raspberry flavored water. That was delicious. But then they don't have it anymore. Come on, Chartwell. We pay you lots of money. I want my raspberry water.
My favorite cafeteria food is the cups with the apples and the peanut butter.
I like the sandwich line. Beef jerky.
I suppose the chicken nuggets.
I like chocolate chip muffins.
Bananas.
Maple chips.
My favorite cafeteria item is the bacon, egg, and cheese because it's really good and I have it every day.
The Stacy's cinnamon and sugar chips. Same.
I like Wicked Spoon Incorporated.
An everything bagel with cream cheese. Chicken wings!
With 3 weeks left of school, you've got final assignments, final papers, final projects, and finals. Owen and Olivia put this piece together to help you plan your time wisely.
Good morning, Staples. With the school year coming to a close and finals fast approaching, here are some ways to not procrastinate on your work and keep up with your grades.
Tip number 1, ask your teachers for help if you need it.
Hey Zito, I have a few questions on the assignment for next week.
That looks good. That looks really good. I think you got it.
Tip number 2, try to limit the amount of distractions around you while you're doing your work. This means things like turning off your phone so you don't go on apps such as Snapchat, Facebook, or any other social media. And also, make sure to stay away from sites such as YouTube and Netflix because those will just be a waste of time at the end.
Tip number 3, don't wait till the last minute to do your work because your grades will fall just like I'm falling right now. Hey Olivia, what you doing?
I'm working on a paper. It's due Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Well, Staples, make sure to get all of your work in by the end of the year. And whatever you do, don't procrastinate on it. Now, back to the host.
You'll soon be done with the 2015-16 school year, but learning, and certainly reading, doesn't have to stop. Here's this report on summer reading.
If you did not know, Staples has a new program where they can buy you a book over the summer for you to read over the summer, so let's go talk to Mr. Neenan to see what he has to say about it.
The library wants to buy you a book for the summer. If you fill out our form, we will buy you a book that you can borrow over the entire summer.
Tonight at 7 o'clock at the Christ and Holy Trinity Church, the League of Women Voters, the Interfaith Clergy Association of Westport and Weston, and the Democratic Women of Westport are presenting a community forum entitled Westport Gun Safety, It's Up to Us. The event is free of charge and open to everyone. The session will provide current information on gun safety and gun violence prevention. An esteemed group of panelists in the field of gun violence prevention will address topics that impact families and our community. Also tonight, the 9th and 10th grade band and orchestra will be giving a concert in the auditorium. The concert starts at 7:30. Then tomorrow, Staples Players, the Laramie Project 10 years later, will have its opening performance in the Black Box Theater. Channing Smith of Inklings put this piece together.
My name is Zoe Samuels. I have been acting for I don't know how long, very long time, and singing, dancing, and doing this show, the Laramie Project, 10 years later. I mean, the rehearsal process is extremely fun, and we laugh, we have a good time, but you know, you can tell it feels important.
Basically, the Laramie Project is about Matthew Shepard, a 21-year-old man who was gay, who was beaten in Wyoming in 1998 because he was gay. And 10 years later, the same storytellers come back to Laramie, and this is for this year, the show we're doing, Laramie Project 10 years later. They come back to the Laramie community to see how much change has occurred. But a common theme is many of the characters are asked, how do you even measure change? But we see that 10 years later, there really isn't much legislative change that has happened because there aren't many new hate crime laws that protects homosexuals or that protects nearly any minority there.
Very cool seeing and meeting and talking with Andy Paris, who was part of the original cast, and he was in the Tectonic Theater Company, which was the company that wrote the show and also went to Laramie, conducted the interviews. I've learned from this experience how to live in the moment, which is extremely important, and how to be realistic. The way you're not supposed to be, pretending to be someone. You're supposed to be that person.
This is the acting trick, right? Is to stay in the present, to live in the moment, and that's how you attain all this. That's how you can live in it and impress upon other people and have it impress upon you in this moment.
A lot of it is more like monologues and like little scenes rather than like big full cast things.
Performing this live in front of an audience, the town of Westport, the community of Westport, people will probably sit back in their seats and think, what if this happened to our town?
The Laramie Project isn't just a show to entertain people, but it is a show to show people how we ourselves as a society need to change. It's a show created for political activism.
It's not difficult to get the message of the play out to the audience. It's easy to see what the play is talking about, and I feel like just doing the play is kind of like doing a good deed, like telling the community about what happened to this community and how this could have been our community.
That was a good one.
Let it
be.
The Laramie Project will be staged in the Black Box Theaters with performances tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 and Sunday at 3 o'clock. As of this morning, Thursday's show was sold out, so get your tickets as soon as possible to avoid being shut out. Tickets are available during lunch periods and on the Staples Players website. By the way, we want to thank Channing and Inklings for making the commercial available to us. As you can see from Channing's work, Inklings videos are something special. They post new videos all the time on their webpage, and you owe it to yourself to check them out. While we are on the subject of Inklings, we'd like to send out congratulations to one of their faculty advisors, Ms. Folko. Last week, Ms. Folko was named Educator of the Year by the Deadline Club, the New York City chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists. It's a tremendous honor that Ms. Folko absolutely deserves. Ms. Folko is asked to give a speech. Here's a bit of it.
To be here among so many professional journalists is, wow, truly an honor. I was asked to speak tonight on what it is like to teach high school journalism, and after many, many hours of thought and deliberation, I came up with 2 words. It's hard. Most days I feel like a juggler trying to keep 20 balls in the air while simultaneously balancing a chair on my chin and riding a unicycle. There are so many different projects going on at once, and they all not only require guidance on sentence construction, grammar, and clarity, but also require oversight to ensure the articles are balanced, accurate, and serve a greater public good. There are so many hours devoted to writing conferences and editorial board meetings and layouts and copy editing and late nights and breaking news text messages and, oh yeah, planning tomorrow's lesson on writing accurate and informative headlines. Yes, teaching high school journalism is very, very hard. But you know what? I love it.
Congratulations, Miss Falco. Now, let's see how our teams are doing.
Good morning, Staples. I'm Elliot.
And I'm Arthur.
And here's a look at where our teams are as they close off their regular seasons.
As always, we are filming our report on Monday, so the games and records are through last weekend's play.
First off, let's take a look at our softball team.
Hey Staples, I met up with freshman Tilly Akenda and sophomore Taylor Rockland to talk about the softball team.
A game that I'm really proud of and I think the whole team is proud of is the St. Joe's game, which they won the state's FCX last year. And we had more hits than them, and it was only the score was 3-0. So that was a game we were proud of, even though we lost it.
Yep. Who have been the impact players this season?
Well, Taylor's been doing really well. Lily Tofel's been doing really well.
I would say senior captain Gabby Perry has been doing really well in the field and at the plate, and also freshman Kat Connell has been really stepping up her game with her pitching, and she's been doing really well.
What are your goals for the rest of the season?
I would say our goals are to just keep on winning and to make it pretty far in states, and yeah.
Thanks Tilly and Taylor for the interview, and good luck in the rest of the season.
As of Sunday, the team had 5 wins on the season.
They close off their regular season today against Danbury at 4 o'clock at Wakeman Field.
The girls lacrosse team had an impressive 15-10 win on Senior Day against Wilton last Thursday.
They closed out their regular season yesterday against Stanford.
They're getting ready for states, playing the best they've played all season, winning 4 out of their last 5 games.
In those 4 wins, they outscored their opponents by 33 goals.
Their male counterparts, the boys lacrosse team, are continuing to put together a historic season.
They sit on top of the Western Division of the FCX and are ranked 4th in the state.
They are sure to make a lot of noise in both the FCX and state tournaments.
Last week, our baseball team played a special game against Wilton.
It was the much-anticipated rematch of last year's FCX championship.
We have this report from Cooper Boardman and at Staples Sports.
2015 FCX title game rematch, the Staples Wreckers and Wilton Warriors. Ben Kasparius on the mound for the Wreckers. This pitch lifted out to left field by Dylan Lifrieri, but Chris Durbel, how about him climbing the wall to make the catch there to end the top of the first inning. Kasparius got it done on the mound, but also getting it done in the batter's box. He'll drive a double here into the left center field gap. However, on the other side, it was Billy Black on the bump for the Wilton Warriors. He'd end up settling down, get Sam Archiola here. He ends up going 6 1/3, 2 runs. But the Wreckers able to get to him here in the 3rd inning. Kasparius again drives this one to the right side. John DiDomenico slides in the 3rd. Ball gets away, and DiDomenico comes all the way around to score. Wreckers take a 1-0 lead. Kasparius drives it home later in the inning. It's Shad Knight up at the dish. He'll rip this one out to right field, but it's tracked down in center. Kasparius gets doubled off at second. Now, Kasparius would redeem himself at the pitching mound, pitching extremely well. Here's him on his performance.
It honestly meant, it was definitely the most fun game of the year for myself, of course. It was definitely a little bit more on a personal level, more towards just a regular game, and I almost felt like we were in a playoff environment. So this was a huge game for us, and I think it's really going to be a momentum booster.
Well, the Wreckers trying to get him some offensive support in the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Fanning leads it off with a single right up the middle. The junior continuing his hot hitting streak. He'd reach second on a bunt and then 3rd on a pass ball. And, well, Matt Stone, the sophomore, drives him in. This one down the right field line. He'll end up on second with an RBI double. And Staples extends their lead 2-0. Yeah, you can celebrate just a bit. Wreckers trying to close it out. Here's the call on WWPT 90.3 FM.
And that is chopped up the middle. Double play ball, crucified run. Get him, double play out. And end the ball game. Staples 2, Wilton nothing. A jump pitch by Ben Kasparius.
The Wreckers stay in FCX playoff contention. A 2-0 victory over the Wilton Warriors and avenge the 2015 FCX title game loss.
Our boys volleyball team has won 7 in a row and 12 out of their last 13 games.
They played Darien on Monday with 1st place in the FCX on the line.
Our boys golf team is on top of their FCX division, and the girls golf team is 2nd.
It is the reverse for our tennis teams, with the boys 2nd overall in the FCX West division, and our girls are number 1 with a 14-1 record.
So as Mr. Lisevich said as he previewed the season, spring is an amazing time for Staples Sports as we look forward to the team's successes in the FCX and the states.
And now, back to Jacob to close up the show.
Thanks, Arthur and Elliot. The Period 2 class will be back tomorrow with their first non-senior show. And we'll be back next Wednesday with a brand new show of our own. Good morning, Staples.